Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we have a first. This is an unboxing of a medic box. Interesting. Tactical Medical Gear Monthly. So someone just sent this to me. I had no heads up or anything. I just literally got this in the mail. So thank you to whoever sent it. I appreciate it. We're going to check it out right now. So obviously, you know, it's self-explanatory. It's going to be a gear box, but it's going to be medical gear related. So this might most benefit someone who works in the medical field, you know, doctors, nurses, you know, EMT workers for the most part, things like that. Maybe use this in your personal life, but obviously it's open to anyone. I've always talked about how important the medical gear is within something like a battle box, you know. So this would be obviously, you know, something, you know, you would want to have an interest in if you specifically want to build a lot more medical gear for SHTF or just regular society. You know, we don't have to have an apocalypse in order for everyone to have a need for medical gear. Anytime someone gets hurt, whether it's yourself or a loved one, it's just good to be prepared and have some kind of knowledge and some kind of gear to go with that. With the medical stuff, though, knowledge is just as important as the gear. You know, there's a lot of specialty medical tools. There's a lot of things like a tourniquet, for example, that, you know, it's not going to be helpful if you don't know how to use it. So obviously educating yourself on how to use all this stuff is even more important than the gear itself. Anyway, today's EDC happens to be an old favorite. This is a Victorinox Swiss Champ. We're going to break out our little blade here to open this guy up. All right, so what is in the medic box, at least for this month? Let's see. All right. So, medic box. Says box number 1. So it looks like this might be a brand new thing then. Phase 1 Duty Individual First Aid Kit, IFAK. So this is obviously beneficial to anyone. This is very basic medical stuff here. So this is interesting. If this is a brand new thing and you know, obviously do it monthly, you're slowly building a giant cache of medical gear, which is really cool actually. So you guys can read that if you want. Number 1, Duty IFAK pouch. Oh, actually, it's just showing everything that's in here. So, yeah, I guess that maybe gave it away. So the big deal here for the Pro Box 1 is going to be the SOG Shears, which I've not seen before. That looks pretty interesting, but here's the basics. So it's broken down like a lot of different ones. Let's see. This is all brand new to me. I never even, like I said, never even heard of this before. Track your medbox journey. So phase 1, Duty IFAK. Phase 2, Vehicle. Phase 3, EDC. Phase 4, Home. So that's really, really interesting. Coming next, your essential piece of COTCCC recommended equipment and more components for your IFAK. So this is this is cool. Unlike some of the gear stuff, I mean, you're really starting at a basic, you know, kit, and you're literally just adding stuff to expand your capabilities. Not only, you know, home, as you saw, vehicles, so you could be out and about and so forth. But very fascinating stuff here. All right. So we have the new Stat 4x4. Hemostatic dressing. Okay. Very good for some heavy bleeding. We got a cool little pouch. We have a patch, which is good to have on a pouch so you can identify what's your medical gear. All right. We have, let's see, Rampart Systems. Emergency bandage, 4-inch bandage. It feels like 2 rolls in here. Let's see. 1 each, 4-inch by 7-inch, sterile pad with integrated 145-inch white elastic wrap and direct pressure applicator. Oh, okay. Interesting. You can see the instructions on there. So this is one giant wrap that you're putting through. It allows it to attach to itself. So something like this, again, like, you know, you're in a situation where now you're administering some kind of serious medical, you know, gear. It's good to practice. Like I've literally, stuff like this that I've never used before, when I have 2 of them, I literally just take one out and play with it. I kind of get familiar with it so I understand like what to expect. Because if someone's like bleeding all over the place and possibly going to die soon, ripping this open and looking at the directions for the first time might be a little bit confusing, especially when you are panicking, your heart rate's going, that kind of stuff, you know. And plus, when you just rip into this, now you've ripped half the, you know, picture directions apart. All right, so now we have the actual pouch for our IFAK. Let's open this guy up. I happen to have a bunch of these already. They're similar sized little pocket organizers, essentially. This is nice. We have a spot right on front. The whole thing's Velcro. There we go, medical box, or medic box, excuse me. We have our MOLLE straps on the back. Rip this open. We have a bunch of different areas to store things. Pockets and straps galore, right? And these panels are sewn in. And just making sure of that. There's nothing hiding around. Alright, so yeah, we have our main pouch here. Put this here. Put that off to the side. Alright, so we also have 2 of these high-fin vent chest seal. It's a twin pack of them. Alright, so these are when you have a piercing into your lungs. So, if you don't have any suction there, you can't breathe. I believe that's what this is for. So this, goes on the outside, sticks to your body to create, literally a sealed wound at that point so that you can actually breathe. All right, so you have very large area patches here. Oh, look at it upside down. Wipe dirt and fluid from skin with gauze. Grip red tab to peel. Clear liner from dressing. Place dressing on patient, adhesive side down. Set it over wound. Firmly press dressing to skin for a good seal. So there's a 2-pack of those. Very cool. A bunch of this fire material. That's what I'm going to use it for, starting fires. And then the coup de grace for this first box here. Make sure there's no paperwork in here. Nope. Alright, is these SOG shears, which I have not seen before. So, SOG Parashields multi-tool. Interesting. Lightweight, folds compact. So it looks like folded up here. So let's see, what do we got going on here? We have inch ruler, millimeter ruler on the other side, compound leverage shears. So obviously these would cut through all kinds of stuff. All these specialty shears, they all cut through pennies and things like that to show how impressive they are, but they do. It's obviously important to cut through any kind of material, including like heavy denim, to get to wounds and stuff. So, Phillips, our #1 Phillips head, bottle opener, of course. It's got to be a bottle opener for that emergency beer. Medium flat head, all rope cutter, oxygen wrench, tweezers, line cutter, glass breaker. Very cool. 7.3 inches open, closes 5.1 inches, weighs 4.8 ounces, and the tools are 3 CR13. Total 11 tools. Glass reinforced nylon with stainless steel for the handle. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, let's break it open. Check it out. Alright, looks like it's come in its own little pouch, which is nice. By the way, that last video they did with the Ozark Trail stuff, so I was like, well, who's going to tell them that they just lift apart this is 2 pieces. That other thing was like melted on all the seams, so it did not, it was literally connected. People were like, just so you know, I have my moments, but that was not one of them. Alright, so this is a fascinating design. These are open like this. It feels relatively comfortable. It didn't look comfortable with the open end there, but it's obviously more solid on the bottom. Alright, so we have our main purpose is the shears. Alright, to lock this, looks like you push in the fold. Alright. Yeah, on both sides. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That looks like it's for the tools. I do like how it's very compact there, and obviously that's why that is so open on the side. Alright, so it looks like the tools unlock. Right? Of course, now I'm going to fiddle with it. Alright, so those lock up. Is that going to? Yes, that's going to unlock it. So it's basically lifting like a lock bar on the bottom. Alright. So there you go. There's like our screwdriver that's locked in. You have obviously leverage here. Use a screwdriver. And then this lifts up to close. Alright, see our little blade here. Alright, so that locks like that, which is more on a 45, which is interesting. That's just our serrated blade. Not sure how you'd really hold it for that. Of course, you got to play with this. But yeah, all right. So those are our different tools. Other side, those are our tweezers. Do those lock? They do not lock, but there's a nice little pair of tweezers. Kind of odd. Actually, like this isn't too bad. You can use that, get a little splinter out or something. Interesting. Then we have our strap cutter. Locks up firm against the frame there. And that is a liner lock. Pretty cool. And then, of course, our shears. Yeah, that's a really interesting tool. Cool. Definitely play with it more off camera there. And here's our sheath for it. Lots of tough Velcro. But yeah, I dig it. This is something you can carry. You can mount this to the back. I might want to put this, well, it depends on, like this whole pouch you might want to mount on something else, but I was going to say you can use the MOLLE strap maybe on the side. If you really want to, you can mount this on the side, just like so. So it's still accessible on your pack. Just depends. You don't have to use this specific gear. If you have a bigger bag for medical stuff, like if you have a kit already you want to work with, you can use these different pieces and integrate and take things out of one in another. And again, having two of anything is fantastic because you get to practice with it. I think it really is important. Like I can't stress that enough. You can have a ton of gear, but if in an emergency you just panic and you don't know what does what or how to use anything, you're not going to be very helpful. And it's almost worse to have, the capable tools and, things there to save a life and not be able to use it. So I think practicing, I'm not heavily trained in the medical field. This is all self-taught knowledge. I have tons of books on medical gear. I obviously get stuff like this, and I like I said, I'll just literally play around with it, look at instructions, look online, watch other videos, read on forums and stuff, and that's how I figure out how to use some of this stuff. But it is super important. The knowledge is just as important as the tool. It's kind of like with firearms. You can give anyone a gun and you can give them some rounds and maybe they'll figure it out, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll hurt themselves trying to figure it out. But they're not going to be very handy with that particular tool if they're not trained. Medicine is no different. So knowledge is just as important as the gear. But if you have the knowledge and you have the interests, then obviously you need the gear. That's where the stuff comes in. So medic box, that is pretty cool. Again, thank you so much to the person who decided to send this for me to check out. I'm kind of interested and curious if there's going to be another one, because I'd love to follow this little journey and have you guys, follow with me through videos. But it's pretty cool. So there you go, something new. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Let me know in the comment section. Do you do any kind of emergency work? I know there's lots of EMTs that actually watch. I've heard that quite a bit over the years in messages. Hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm from this state or whatever. EMT, ambulance driver, that kind of stuff. And it's fascinating. And you know what? Like, I know some people don't like police officers. Other people praise police officers. Thank you for, what you do for our society and stuff. Firemen, they get all kinds of praise. Nothing wrong with being a cop or a firefighter, right? But the medics are quite literally just saving lives every single day. You know what I'm saying? It's nice if a cop saves your life or if a fireman saves your life, but your run-of-the-mill boring stuff like heart attacks and choking and all kinds of stuff like that, it's just, those are the frontline workers. Those are the people that are saving lives every single day. And I know for a fact they're not getting paid nearly as much as they should. But that can be said for a lot of different occupations, including police as well as firefighters, if of course you guys are doing your job properly. I know there's a lot of hatred for cops out there, and I have to say, unfortunately, I fall into a similar category where, like, yes, in general, cops annoy me because I've had so many negative experiences with cops. And it's not like, I've been speeding and I got a ticket and the cop cost me money, because I don't see it like that. If I'm speeding legitimately and a cop pulls me over, gives me a ticket, that's my fault. I don't blame the cop for that. But what I see often, unfortunately, is I see police officers that abuse their power in little ways in society, and it's just super annoying. But there's definitely good cops. I've talked to amazing cops, through this whole experience being online. I've befriended police officers, and it's like anything else. You have to judge the individual. Overall, people might not like cops, but there's individual people that you might love, and they happen to be a police officer, and they happen to be really good at their job. That's always possible. It's just the good cops usually don't get a lot of attention. You know what I mean? Medics and stuff, EMT workers, they never get attention. But you know, when a cop does something wrong, that's what we all, you know, look at, and that's what we judge everyone on. So it's not quite, you know, fair across the board, but it is what it is. You have bad teachers, bad principals, you know, bad politicians, well, I don't know if I ever met a good politician. I think for a lot of these occupations, people go in like gung-ho and excited. I think with cops specifically, I think there's so many people who join the force and they're like, they really want to make a difference, and it's just nothing like they thought it would be. And it's a lot of paper pushing, pencil pushing, you know, a lot of paperwork and boring downtime, and it's not like the movies, you know what I mean? So I think that people just get bitter. And I'll say this, I've worked with the public. I've had, you know, retail position jobs before, and the public sucks. People overall kind of suck. It's individuals that are awesome. There's a bunch of great people out there, but you don't necessarily remember the 30 customers that come in that treated you pretty nicely. You remember that one customer who just really pissed you off. And that's just, again, that happens with cops too. The bad experiences stick a lot easier than the good experiences. But I don't know why I'm even having that conversation. It has nothing to do with medical gear, really. I was just kind of talking out loud. But yeah, I just wanted to say, if you are an EMT worker, ambulance driver, you know, you work in an ER, nurse, doctor, comment below. Tell me what you think about stuff like this. I'm curious of your opinions on, you know, people at home just learning about this. Obviously, it's going to be good. You're not going to say, well, no, they definitely shouldn't know how to help themselves. But yeah, I mean, when you're talking about everything above a Band-Aid, everyone could put a Band-Aid on. Maybe a little Neosporin, you know, clean out the wound a little. But when you're talking about dressing gunshot wounds or stab victim wounds, and that's a whole different ball of wax. And some people just don't have the stomach for it. You know, they might want to help, but they just seeing that would be too shocking to them, or make them nauseous, or they just wouldn't be able to focus too much on it. But anyway, that's all. I'm rambling. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hope you don't need any medical attention at all. That would be optimal for all of us. But if you do, stuff like this will really come in handy. See you guys tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.